Summary of Prisoner B-3087 by Gratz. A little Jewish child named Yanek Gruener, who was only 10 years old when the Nazis invaded his hometown of Krakow, Poland in September of 1939, is the inspiration for the story of Prisoner B-3087. As soon as Yanek, his parents Oscar and Mina, and the rest of his Jewish family are caught, they are all limited in what they can do. They make a community for Jews and don't let them go to school or run their own businesses. Soon, the Nazis will start to break into people's homes and send them to camps, where it is said that Jews are killed. Even though Oscar tries to stay positive, Yanek is getting more and more worried. The Nazis break into Yanek's house, but he and his family find a pigeon coop and decide to hide there from them. 3 years into the Nazi occupation, Yanek turns 13. His bar mitzvah ceremony, in which he becomes a man according to Jewish law, takes place in a basement at night because Jews would be killed if they were caught performing their religion. Soon after, Yanek's mom and dad are taken away while they're waiting for their bread handouts, and he never sees them again. Soon after, in late 1942, Yanek is also sent away. When he gets to Plasso, a prison camp, he sees his uncle Moshe again. Moshe tells Yanek that he needs to stay hidden and not care about anything because the Nazis can use anything as an excuse to kill prisoners. He tells them they have to stay alive no matter what because the Nazis can't erase their past. During Yanek's first roll call, Amon Goeth, the camp's commander, puts his dogs on the prisoner next to him for no reason. This is just one example of how cruel the Nazis were. Moshe finds Yanek work cleaning the ghettos in Krakow so that he can spend as little time as possible in the camp. When Yanek cleans out his family's old apartment, he finds the money that his mother sewn into their jackets. This is even better luck. Moshe can trade this money for more bread when Yanek brings it back to the camp. Moshe tells him not to tell anyone, but Yanek feels bad that he hasn't told the prisoners who have become Muselmanners, or so skinny and sad that they are almost dead. Soon after Yanek gets this extra money, though, Goeth kills Moshe because Moshe was put in charge of a group that was breaking rocks, and Goeth wasn't happy with their work. Yanek is heartbroken and thinks he is once again by himself. As the years go by, Yanek is sent to work wherever it is needed. First, it was the Wyalikska salt mine, and then it was the Trzebinia prison camp. In all of these places, the work is hard and people die all the time. The Nazis treat the Jewish inmates like animals. Yanek wants to fight back, but during roll call at Trzebinia, one prisoner refuses and is shot right away. 7 other innocent prisoners, including a young boy, are then hung in front of the rest. Yanek promises to think about the boy. Soon after, in the winter of 1944, Yanek and other prisoners are put on a train and sent to Birkenau, a death camp. Someone else in the jail tells them that they are being taken to the gas chambers. Yanek is upset because he feels like all the work he did to stay alive was for nothing. They are pushed into the showers, though, and water comes out instead of gas. He feels like he's been born again because he's so happy. There is no stopping him from staying alive. Yanek shaves his head and gets the number B-3087 tattooed on his arm after taking a shower at Birkenau. For the Nazis, he is just a number, not a person. Then he finds shoes that fit and a prison outfit. That night, a prisoner asks if there are 10 men who can make a bar mitzvah for a boy. That's when Yanek steps up and repeats Moshe's words that they can't let the Nazis erase them. At the same time, Yanek washes every day at Birkenau to remember himself that he is human. As a way to get stronger, he waits in line longer so that the thicker part of the soup is served to him first. Pupils try to escape one day but are found and killed. The men on their work detail are also shot, even though they hadn't done anything wrong. Then, a guard starts fire on the prisoners who are waiting for roll call, and Yanek barely makes it out alive. Yanek is sent to Auschwitz after a few months. Even though Moshe told him not to, he made friends with a boy from Krakow called Fred. Yanek is glad he can talk to someone about his life and what he has been through. Fred gets really sick one day, though, and can't work. The Nazis drag him out of the barracks and hang him when he can't stand for roll call. Yanek promises once more that he will never forget Fred. In the winter of 1945, Yanek is sent to Sachsenhausen. This time, there are no cars to take them there, so they have to walk for days on end. Yanek sees a boy who is having a hard time standing up straight. As they walk, Yanek helps the boy carry his weight because the boy looks like Fred. In the end, another guy also helps Yanek carry the boy. Before they go to sleep, Yanek notices that while he was carrying the boy, a piece of bread fell out of his belt. He's about to cry. He almost steals from the boy, but he decides not to because he knows the boy will probably die in the morning and can take the bread then. The boy doesn't die though, so Yanek walks for 3 more days without food. When Yanek and the other inmates get to Sachsenhausen, they are given a short break to rest and get back to full strength. Yanek still washes at a pump every day and can't believe he used to have a toothbrush. This camp is a lot like the others because Yanek and the others have to break rocks and make barracks. But Yanek can see that the Allied planes are getting nearer. Soon after, Yanek is sent to Bergen-Belsen by stock car. Thankfully, this camp is in much better shape than the last one. There are no gas chambers, and there is more food than Yanek has had in 6 years. However, Yanek quickly learns that there is a capo called Moonface, because of the scars and acne pits on his round face, who beats up Yanek for no reason and whenever he can. Even though things are better, Yanek works hard to get moved to a different place as soon as possible so he can stay away from Moonface. After that, Yanek is sent to Buchenwald, a place where inmates are treated like animals. It's easy to make this connection because there's a zoo at the camp with wild animals that the guards and their families enjoy. The animals are fed better than the prisoners, but one day the Nazis drop a steak that is usually given to the bears in front of 2 prisoners and make them fight for it. Yanek once saw 2 Nazi troops tie a deer to a fence. The soldiers were later given harsh punishments for what they did. In a selfish move, Yanek points out that the Nazis will let prisoners be abused but not animals. After that, Yanek is sent to Grossrosen. A capo asks Yanek one day where the button that's missing from the top of his shirt is. Because Yanek says he doesn't know, he is given 20 lashes, but the Nazi soldier beating him keeps counting until Yanek passes out from getting so many. That night, Yanek hears bombs going off near their base and hopes the Allies are close by. After being locked up in Grossrosen, the inmates are put on a death march to Dachau without food. Yanek thinks they are moving because the Allies are getting closer to freeing them. They have to go through Czechoslovakia to get to Dachau. Yanek is glad to see that many Czech farmers have left bread and other food for the prisoners on their doorsteps. Still, Yanek knows that he will die soon if he doesn't get more food. A capo comes up behind him with 4 loaves of bread, which is a lot more than the man needs. Yanek knows it's Moonface when he gets close to the capo. When they stop, Yanek goes up to Moonface, even though he is scared, and tells him that he wants to work but needs food to stay alive. Moonface surprises Yanek by cutting him a piece of bread. The blasts get louder and louder at Dachau. When the prisoners wake up in early spring, they find that the Nazis have left during the night. These people don't know what to do or how to get back to their homes, or even where they would go back to. Then, in April 1945, American troops come to free them and Yanek falls to his knees, crying with happiness that he made it through the war. Someone in the army comes up to Yanek, asks him his name, and tells him that everything will be okay. The prisoners who were freed are taken from Dachau to Munich, where they will stay briefly. American troops give Yanek a bunk to himself with sheets, a pillow, a cup, a washcloth, and most importantly, a toothbrush. This amazes him. Somebody else cries at dinner that night as everyone sits down to eat. Yanek believes that even though they are happy to be free, it makes them very sad to think about the people they had lost. Yanek soon learns, though, that his cousin Yuzek also made it out alive. Yuzek tells Yanek to apply to a new program in the US that helps Jewish children move there. Things finally work out for Yanek after 3 years. Yanek thinks about his family as he gets on the train that will take him to a ship going to the US. Although he will always remember them, he is sure that starting over in America will let him live his life again.
About the author. Alan Gratz was born in Knoxville, Tennessee. He went to the University of Tennessee to study short stories and poetry. At first, Gratz wrote plays that were mostly based on books. 10 years after finishing, Gratz wrote Samurai Shortstop, his first book for young readers. His 16 books for young readers, including some historical fiction, have come out since then. Gratz also taught writing historical stories in Tokyo, Japan, and Jakarta, Indonesia, for a while. Besides that, he has written more than 6,000 radio commercials, a few TV scripts, and magazine pieces. He lives in Asheville, North Carolina, with his wife and daughter.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.